won't stop them from discussing. So get ready for Much Review About Nothing.
Hello, friends, and welcome to a special episode of Much Review About Something. And today, we're going to be discussing the Mario movie because we finally saw it. Saw it a while back, but we're now just getting around to actually talking about it.
Yeah, we've been fairly busy with other projects, so now we can finally work on this.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that project too.
Let's save it to the end, but let's get into the Mario movie.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd start with our actual reviews of the movie, the scores we gave, and whether or not we wanted to stand with those scores, justify them, or whatever. So I figured we'd start with Billy since he's at the top of my list. Now, you gave it a 70%, and I honestly, at the time, I thought that was kind of an extreme reaction. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like you might have been out of line. What do you think, Billy?
I was not out of line.
Yeah, but, Billy. What do you have to say for yourself?
I feel like that's pretty accurate, honestly. I feel like I nailed it. Because, like, I really enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But at the same time, it's a weird thing because, like, the movie, it did basically everything I was afraid of, but it also didn't. And I don't know how to describe it. I guess maybe to a lesser extent.
I agree with that sentiment. And just kind of throwing my hat into the ring. I gave it a 66%, and I still think I stand by that.
Yeah.
You know,
66, 70, I mean, in that zone. It's somewhere in that zone.
Yeah, it's between the 60% and 70 zone. It's like more of a perspective shift rather than... It's almost like it did do the things I was afraid of, but not overly so and not as bad as I thought. Whereas I had a pessimistic view before I watched it, I had an optimistic view after I watched it in a weird way.
Yeah,
now,
that was basically me too.
Look, you gave it the lowest score of 64%, and I honestly thought you might have gone a little too low. I mean, that is kind of that's kind of extreme, you know.
Listen, Nintendo 64, baby.
That's it?
Yep, that's it. However, I will agree with all of you that
all of us.
All of you, all of us.
All
of them.
The collective.
The collective of us, yes. That I mean it was a fine movie. I was entertained for the runtime.
Yeah.
I had issues with the ending. The pacing was a bit weird in a few places.
The pacing was very weird. That was probably my biggest problem.
Yeah,
and
let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sorry to interrupt you, Luke.
Wait, I'm still talking.
Okay.
That elephant can wait.
It's
also, I felt like Peach was a bit too overpowered to necessitate Bowser's being threatening, if that makes sense. Like, really isn't too much to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was kind of worried about. That essentially it was good that Mario was there, but I feel like even if he wasn't, Peach would have figured it out. You know.
I know that's what I'm saying. That kind of like pulls the rug out from the hero, and it doesn't make Bowser as threatening.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, well, what was the point of Mario? She could have done it just fine, and then like, what's the point of having Mario? And then at the end, there was no point for him to go back to the real world, and for people to celebrate because they just dragged Bowser into their world to wreck everything. They brought him there. He didn't go there. Yeah. Why? And I was like, why are they celebrating? They're the ones that caused the destruction.
Because he sent that bullet bill. I feel like that was I don't know if that was a continuity error, but when he sent the bullet bill through the pipe, that long pipe he and Luigi went through was gone. You know?
Like what do you mean?
Well, like when he and Luigi were sucked into the Mario Kingdom, they flowed through that clear pipe.
Right.
But when the bullet bill went through, that pipe was gone. It was just like an abyss that it exploded in.
Yeah, I mean it's a minor thing. It might have been too big for the pipe and just broke it
I mean,
essentially.
it would have made more
Yeah.
sense if maybe Bowser had decided to attack Mario's home to get petty revenge. But I was just like, why are you celebrating him? He's the reason. He's the reason why this is bad.
I guess they didn't know, and Mario wasn't going to correct them.
Yeah, I know it's
It's
kind of
like, I'm the
scummy.
hero. Woo!
He's like he created a problem for him to solve so he could play hero. That's kind of messed up.
Well, I mean, none of it was intentional. He was
No.
about to die by being, hit by a bullet bill. It's not like he knew the result of his actions would cause that. Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
No,
going
he
back
was-
to
he
the
was
real world,
desperate.
but
I'm just saying that ending
wasn't
could have been
Bowser's
handled
fault, though.
way better. That's what really fell apart for me was the ending. The ending, it was good up until the ending.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well.
mechanically, I feel like the ending is very satisfying. I weirdly got emotional when they grabbed the superstar, which is embarrassing to admit, but it's effective on an emotional level. But yeah, there are like.
And too, Luigi
narrative-wise,
spent the
it's-
entire movie in a cage. Why was he so good with the superstar and all that? And,
Well, let's talk. I wanted to talk about this, but we're
Okay,
just kind of
yeah.
skimming over it.
Sorry, we're just
which
getting,
is no, I know.
the
So
conversation's happening naturally, so jump in.
So the pacing is where the movie really, really suffers because we essentially the joke we made on Twitter. It's a speed run of a movie.
Mhm.
Everyone gets like their 5 seconds of basically character development, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
it's
you
the
know,
backwards long jump of movies.
the
Flying up the stairs backwards.
Yeah.
we get I guess spoilers. We get a sentimental moment between Peach and Mario to develop their characters. All right, they have now a relationship. All right, Donkey Kong, he gets his 5 seconds of character development. He doesn't want to smash things, and he gets approval from his father.
Mhm.
That's covered in a very short span, and just
Yeah.
so on and so on. My thing is, I like the relationship between Mario and Peach and how they tried to develop that.
Mhm.
I think a couple of things. I would have preferred just to not have like Luigi really be featured in this movie.
But I mean, you had to
'Cause-
have some reason to stick around.
No, I know. I was thinking that you could have him go off, like Mario thinks he's been captured, but not really. And like the second movie covers Luigi's adventure until they meet up or something. I don't know.
What,
But
like
I just,
Paper Mario?
yeah, I guess so.
Well, that's
In a
way
way.
too complicated for the.
No, I
for-
know. I think the biggest issues with the Mario movie is Illumination. All the things I said, worried about Illumination, worried about Chris Pratt being the voice actor. I still stand by those things.
Yeah.
That there could have been a better animation studio and a better voice actor for Mario. I still stand by those beliefs.
Yeah, I think all the issues were Illumination.
Yeah, no, I agree. Watching it, you get used to Chris Pratt Mario, but I mean, there's nothing really Mario about it. He didn't, like I've been saying, he didn't lean far into one way or another. It either should have been the Mario we know from the games, or it should have been the Brooklyn, hey Luigi kind of Mario.
Yeah. And I would have preferred that Mario.
I
Again-
love Brooklyn Mario. He's
which
my
I feel like he
favorite.
could have done, and there were traces of it, but he just never committed to one or another.
Yeah. And I don't think that was necessarily Chris Pratt's fault. I just don't think the voice director knew what to do, essentially.
No, it just gives me a vague Mario accent, Chris.
Don't worry, with AI we can fix everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Peach was kind of a downer on the movie just because she wasn't quite Peach enough, and like her role in the movie is basically a paragon. It'd be like if Gandalf was like just with Frodo and Sam the entire time.
Yeah.
And he's just as a kind of example. It's like it takes some of the stakes out of
If
it.
Gandalf was more powerful. If Gandalf's like fist fighting Sauron right at the end.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with Peach being a Paragon character. It's just you have to kind of get her out of the way so Mario can be the hero. I do give it props that it was just Bowser being jealous. And
Yeah,
not
I like
any
Bowser's
sort of
motivation.
Yeah,
So-
it's a very Bowser motivation.
Mhm.
They did a good job on that front, but yeah, I think that's the that's my summation
Yeah.
of it.
But I
And
did like Peach's personality. I felt like she was very kind and warm and likable. It's just
sort of.
her role within. Yeah, they didn't push it too far into the snarky secondary female protagonist zone
Yeah,
that all
they
those characters fall into.
didn't, but they didn't
Yeah.
fully commit to like Peach being kind.
No.
There's some
Because
weird moments.
it felt like Illumination and Shigeru
Nintendo,
and
yeah,
Nintendo butting heads.
Heidi.
I guess that's the underlying thing, is that it fell right in the middle and didn't commit to one way or another.
You know what? I kind of felt when I was watching that movie, like there were certain places where you could tell where Illumination and Nintendo were constantly pulling back and forth,
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, well, like anytime Peach was any kind of like damsel in distress situation, it was always like immediately subverted. They were like, "Oh shoot, we're getting too close to a woman needing to be saved. Hurry, give her an ice flower," but we have a man in waiting to be saved. It doesn't matter. It's not enough.
Yeah.
Get her an ice flower. Stat.
Man, Luigi
We're gonna
got
get canceled
gypped
on
in this
Twitter.
movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I like Luigi, and I felt really bad for him in this movie.
Yeah.
Such a lot
Or-
of wasted
I mean, he was
potential.
the thing to be saved. That was his role, essentially.
Yeah.
I know he had Peach's job.
Another
Yeah,
thought I
well-
had is I think it would have been better if Luigi was captured a little later in the story, if Mario and Luigi were like exploring the world and
Mhm.
then they get separated somehow. Bowser captures him. That
Yeah.
way we have a little bit of development between Mario and Luigi and their
Well, they
personalities.
didn't do a bad job. The beginning sets their relationship up really good. It is such a fun
Right.
relationship. You kind of hate to be without it for the rest of the.
Yeah, I would
movie.
have just liked a little bit more of that and exploring Luigi's character. It didn't have to be a lot. Again, we were speed running most of it, but
Mhm.
Luigi, we did the Luigi skip, and we lost that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I-
skipped Luigi.
I think the last point, kind of indicative of the Nintendo Illumination, was the music, where
Oh yeah,
the music was fantastic
Mhm.
when it was like orchestral Mario music. Like that is where all the emotion was.
Mhm.
And then we get I Need a Hero or
And
Take
freaking-
on Me.
an '80s
and-
pop.
Yeah, we get completely thrown out of
Which are really
basically
good songs, but it's like
the
they're
Mario
most-
world.
They're the most obvious like needle drops. They didn't really say anything about the scene. It was just like, what very popular song can we stick in here? You
Yeah,
know?
because if you look, and it's been covered, there was a specific song for the bit where they're driving through
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country, as it were.
Mhm.
And I
But-
think,
That was
but-
one where Illumination won, and they were like,
Yeah.
"We got to have pop songs," and maybe they're right in some capacity, you know?
yeah, for
There is a
mass
group-
appeal,
Yeah,
I get that. Like even our parents, were like, "Oh yeah, I like the inclusion of
you're
those
throwing
songs."
our parents under the bus.
Well, I mean,
They
but
just
that's
like the music, okay?
it's
It's good
not
music.
it's not wrong.
Mm.
We're a bunch of curmudgeons and a bunch of I
Well,
don't
we're
know. We
looking at
have,
it from an artistic kind of, artistic
Yes.
integrity standpoint.
and I
Yeah.
refuse to accept it. It is a kids movie as either a defense or a criticism of a piece of media, since
Right.
the target audience really should only determine the complexity and maybe some of the themes that you are allowed to present. It is
Yeah.
not an indicator of quality.
Yeah.
I think everybody is like running around freaking out about
Mm.
if it's for kids, it should still be quality entertainment, and
Yeah.
especially if it's rated. If it's for everyone, this isn't Wow Wow Wubsy or whatever. Again,
Speaking of Wubsy, will there be a Bubsy movie? I'm looking forward to
I
that.
can only hope it'll be a part
Now-
of the video game cinematic universe.
Yeah, Illumination can do whatever they want with that.
yeah. What I'm really excited about is potentially it did so well at the box office, and I am happy for it.
Yeah,
That
I thought it was a
Nin-
fine movie. It's just
It's a fine movie, a fun
I had
Nintendo-
a
popcorn.
good time.
Shut your
is-
brain off. Don't think about it.
is going to look at video game movies as like profitable that we might get a second Mario movie, and maybe it will be a bit better because they've already covered a lot of ground. I'm really excited if they ever decide to do a Legend of Zelda movie. Any of the Legend of Zelda games could like translate pretty easily into a good movie. You know, a
Oh my
great hero's
goodness.
journey movie.
I'm
So-
reminded of that whole Twilight Princess fake movie trailer that got really
Oh, yeah.
popular like 2008.
I
and
mean-
it tricked me. I was a kid. I was like, "Oh, cool, a Twilight Princess movie. Maybe I'll actually get it."
I think I've been playing Breath of the Wild again, and I think that one would translate pretty well into a movie. You'd have
Just
to
be Link walking everywhere.
The problem
trim
is
some stuff,
they're
but
going to make Link talk, and it's like,
I don't think that's an issue. I really don't. I think
Chris Pratt is
Link-
Link.
Yeah, well, that's the issue, is who the voice actor is. But Link has always been a bit more of a smug or snarky character. I really do think so.
he
If you
doesn't
look
say
back at
anything,
some
he
of the
just
writing-
screams. What are you talking about?
Not in Breath of the Wild. You respond. You can pick a response.
Oh.
So he does talk in that capacity.
Oh, is Breath of the Wild Link snarky? Because I think
A little
Ocarina of
bit,
Time.
yeah.
I think
I thought you
Ocarina
were
of
going to be
Time.
like, you want him to say, excuse me,
Excuse me,
no,
princess.
Not that
I would
far,
love
but I
that. I
still
would
think
give-
it could work.
If the movie, if the hypothetical Link movie or Zelda movie ever did that line, I wouldn't care. I would give it a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 stars. If they ever
No.
say, "Well, excuse me, princess,"
Just,
I-
it's going to be Link
be
and
perfect.
Zelda on an adventure, right? Just, I'm
yeah,
preparing you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily against that, but that's how it sort of is anyways. I mean, Ocarina of Time, Zelda is Sheik and all that. So there's
hey,
Yeah, but, like,
spoilers!
pop
My
up again.
goodness, just they're dropping these spoils.
So you have perfect fodder for it. I'm just saying that I personally would be excited for that movie, and I hope that I mean, the issue is if Illumination did it again, I don't know how excited I would actually be. I still think it would run into a lot of the problems that the Mario movie had.
To me,
But-
for a Legend of Zelda game, you would almost need like a Studio Ghibli type vibe to get it correct. But
yeah, I think I agree
being
with
that kind of classical fantasy vibe, filtered through the hyper pop sensibilities of Illumination, just
Yeah,
feels
I
like
know.
a nightmare.
They're
would be
gonna
bad.
be like, it's gonna be this fantasy world, but they're gonna be talking like Southern Californian slang. It's gonna be like 80s music playing every so often. It's gonna
Yeah.
be very jarring.
You are right that it needs a studio who can highly stylize the art, and
Yeah.
that is the biggest problem.
And not
Like-
put 80s pop music in it.
At this point, I don't
No,
know
they
if there's
will.
any American studio who would be able to do such a thing, because everything has
No.
pretty much just gone to I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's kind of
self-shaded, kind of.
kind of CalArt. I mean, look at anything Disney, Pixar, Illumination has created, where everything.
But what about like Into the Spider-Verse and the new?
now
Puss in Boots?
there? That would be it. Yeah, have to be something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely, that would work.
Yeah. No, it would be interesting, and we are probably going to get a lot of video game. I think that's going to be the next trend.
Can you imagine a Legend of Zelda with the same quality of like Into the Spider-Verse, like the stylistic quality of that? Oh, it'd be
That would be
it'd
very
be-
cool.
incredible. It
You know,
actually,
it's very humorous that it was a Mario movie that destroyed Nintendo's will to make movies, and it was another Mario movie that restored it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very ironic.
Everything goes full circle.
well, I think we've beaten this plumber.
Beating
enough.
this dead plumber.
Yeah, we
Well,
beat
he's
the
not
dead
dead. He's
plumber with
actually
the
he's
plunger.
been
He's very
resurrected.
alive.
Yeah, he's been resurrected. I would say.
Yeah,
Our
we've
beating
eaten
stirred him.
this pile of $1 billion long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, in summation, I really enjoyed it. It has problems, but
It's a fine movie.
I had a good time watching it.
Basically, just
A solid 70, 65 to
Take-
70.
Yeah.
take any of the negatives I said in the movie. I stand with them, but in a positive view. I don't even know if that's possible, but it's a weird paradox.
Well, I
guess
think
is
it's
the
the
best way to
problem.
say.
You can intellectually acknowledge the problems, but on
Yes,
some other
I-
level, it doesn't
enjoyed
affect your
it.
enjoyment.
Emotionally and with my eyes.
It's
So-
like The Page Master to me. I recognize that movie as being heavily flawed, but I still like it.
Yeah, and
And-
that's art.
And I
The
think
best-
that's a worser movie.
The
Art is
best
the magic trick.
parts of the movie have to be where it goes into a 2D platformer view. Those are simply the best parts of the movie.
Those are great, and I also
There's
like
nothing.
the Mad Max Mario Kart kind of deal.
Yes, that was
Those are
also
highlight.
very good. So
Mhm.
Even though getting the Kongs was ultimately kind of pointless, but at least they got Donkey
Yeah,
Kong.
that kind of
Yeah.
subplot only existed so they have Donkey Kong.
Yeah, which hey, it fulfilled some purpose. So
Yeah.
yes.
yeah.
It could have been like
Alright,
yeah.
Shut up.
We
We're not
can't
talking.
keep going on. We need to stop.
Well, we did mention it. We have transformed our YouTube channel into Let's 3, where
Yeah.
Much Review About Nothing now goes under the Let's 3 brand as our total brand.
Mhm.
And we now produce sketches, this podcast, and other weird things that we put usually in short form or whatever
Yeah.
we can come up with in the future. So
Yeah, we just try to post a couple of things every week. Usually like a short, and then a longer sketch. That's a more typical YouTube video. But yeah, and I would say like look it up on YouTube, but I don't know if it's going to come up.
It will come up if you put in "Let's 3" all put together, no apostrophe s.
That's how you
Our strange video I found in my attic pops up. So
Oh,
just do
okay.
"Let's
The channel
3"
intro.
all put together, no spaces and no apostrophe.
Okay.
Oh, I do
good.
see that. Yeah, the channel intro does pull up. So I guess
Okay,
watch that
okay.
first and then watch our other stuff if you
Yeah.
are so inclined.
Yeah. Alrighty. We'll talk at you later. Bye.
Bye.